What's up, guys? I made a video a little bit earlier today about the Triumph. We came to a stopping place because I ran out of welding wire. So I'm going to run and get that later, but what I wanted to do is kind of pivot and make another video today working on the Mustang. So there's two main things I want to try to get done today, but I might be able to get to more depending on how long they take. First one is going to be the seat belts. So I've already kind of started here, but basically I already have the seat belts. I just need to bolt them in. The previous owner replaced the carpet and didn't ever reinstall the seat belt. So I pulled the panel off here to kind of go down and find, pull back the carpet, find where it bolts in, and get this side bolted. So what I need to do now is kind of poke around on the tunnel and figure out where the kind of nut that's built into the floor of the car is, so that I can poke a hole through the carpet and bolt the other side of the seatbelt in. So these are really simple to install, so I'm just going to go ahead and knock them out. After that, I really want to get to the seat upholstery. You can see we have big rip here, rip over here, rip down there. I have never reupholstered a seat before, so that's where I'm kind of on the fence of how long it's going to take. Hopefully I can knock it out relatively quick. If I do, then I'll move on to the side molding on this side, and then we also have that vent to replace over there. So four main things I want to try and get done, but we're going to do seat belts first, move on to the upholstery, then see how far we can get after that. Seat belts are in, nice and installed and ready to use. So we're going to try to get on this upholstery. So we need to remove this seat, and how you do that is there's 4 1/2-inch bolts or nuts rather that come through the actual underside of the car. So there's little holes, kind of like access holes to get to the bolts. So we're just going to put a deep socket, little extension, with a 1/2-inch, and undo those 4 bolts, and we'll be able to pull the seat right out. So I'm under the car now, and I know it's obviously pretty dark under here, so I'm going to see if I can show you. These are the little covers I'm talking about. So little rubber ones, one, another one over here, over there, and then right here. So I'm just going to stick a flathead in here, pop it off. So right up through there is the 1/2-inch nut we're taking off. So just do all 4 of those, and we'll be able to pull the seat directly straight up. Seat is out. Look at the amount of crap underneath the seat that just isn't able to be vacuumed with the seats in place. So we're gonna hit that up. So I got the seat sitting over here on the floor. I have the new covers sitting out here in the sun. What this is gonna do is soften up the material so that it stretches a little bit easier. It'll help get some of the wrinkles out. It's just a good idea to let them sit out in the sun a little bit, get a little bit more, I guess, malleable before you go put it on. So now we're going to start to tear this seat apart. I'd like to work up here though, so I'm going to clean off the workbench so that we can have a nice spot to start tearing the upholstery off and get it swapped out. Alright, we got the seat up here on the bench. This is the back of it. It's just made out of cardboard. But basically it just snaps in. There's these little clips all the way around the outside. And as you can see, they're just like kind of little spring clips. So you could just get a little flathead screwdriver or whatever, go around the outside and pull them out. So now we're ready to separate the back of the seat from the bottom of the seat. We're going to take out this adjusting bolt. This just rests on here and kind of adjusts how tilted the seat is. Then these are supposed to be cotter pins, but sometime in the last 50 years somebody has replaced them with nails, which is sweet. We'll be putting cotter pins back in. And those basically just hold the sides, the two bars that go into the back of the seat on. Once those are off, you can just pry out and the seat will come right off. So one specialty tool you guys will need if you're wanting to tackle this project is hog rings and hog ring pliers. I'll grab those and show you what they look like here in a minute, but these are the hog rings. Basically they're just kind of like a nail with points on both sides that are designed to be bent around and kind of pinch the material onto kind of the metal frame of the seat, kind of like this. A lot of these are loose and not very well installed, but we're going to be pulling all those off, and then I can show you how to install the new ones once we go and actually put the new material on. So I'm going to go ahead and separate the two halves and then get to removing all of these hog rings. That took all of about a minute and a half. So now we're going to go around and bend out, possibly even cut all of these hog rings so that we can actually get the material off itself. They should be relatively easy to remove. Like I told you, they're kind of just bent around, and that's how easy that one came off. And so some of them are just going to be a little bit more bent, and we want to make sure not to bend the actual springs or any of the part we're going to keep of the seat. But if we tear and rip this upholstery, it doesn't matter because we're replacing it anyway. Now that we've undone all of the hog rings on the back side, we fold all the material over, and if you look down in this crack, there are hog rings that hook onto basically right inside of this seam. There's a metal wire that runs all the way around, and that metal wire is held to the frame with hog rings all the way down as well. So I'm just actually going to use my Nip-X, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut those and then pull out the little metal pieces. It'll be a lot easier just to cut them as opposed to tearing up the foam and everything with trying to pull them out with just pliers. So we're going to go ahead and cut those all the way around, and I'll show you what that looks like. So there are more hog rings in here that you don't want to cut that are holding on this metal wire that's actually part of the foam. But then there's this other metal wire, you can see the end of it right here, on the seat itself, and that's what's, the hog rings are basically holding this piece with the metal through it onto that piece with the metal. So it's really easy to see when you're actually cutting them which ones are going into this white fabric and which ones you should just leave that are staying in the foam. So now this old nasty seat cover is done. We're going to check out our foam. It's not in the best shape, but these seats will probably be replaced with something a little more modern and sporty down the road anyway. So these will be just fine for now. And so I'm going to go through and pull out the little halves of the hog rings in here so they don't poke us in the back or poke through our new upholstery. Once all that's done, we are ready to actually reverse the process and start to install the new material on the back. I went ahead and threw the seat cover new one onto the back of the seat here. Pretty self-explanatory how it goes on in the front. Just top is obviously that part. It's pretty obvious which is the top, which is the bottom. The bottom, the dark color in the middle, at least on the deluxe seats or whatever these are, kind of wraps around the front of the seat. So that's how you can easily tell the difference between the top and the bottom of the actual materials themselves. So now we're just going to make sure it's nice and lined up, and then roll this bottom fabric over, hog clamp it, right to these kind of oval shaped holes, and then the sides and top will be pulled over and kind of hog ringed down. So this is the box that comes. This is how the hog rings come before they're actually bent. This is the shape they are. These are a set of hog ring pliers. Basically you open these up, and they are spring loaded so that they hold them in place. See if I can do this with one hand. Open it up all the way, kind of like that, and then you'll squeeze them and see how it totally wraps it around and makes it into a circle. So that's where it goes through the fabric, around in the metal, and holds everything tight. And as you can see, I have like 200 and something of them, so don't be shy with them. Obviously make sure you leave enough to do all of the seats you need to do, but you know, put a good amount of it in there, and you can use it to stretch and, you know, keep checking the front of the seat and make sure there's no weird wrinkles or anything like that happening, and you'll be good to go. So we're going to go ahead and start getting this attached. Got all of our hog rings in place, wrapped all the way around, and check the front. It's looking really good. So nice, tight all the way around, no crazy wrinkles. So it's looking really good. So basically all I have to do now for this is poke the holes through for these little clips, and then poke the hole through here for the adjusting height bolt, and then then this top part will be done, and we'll move on to the bottom. Alright, we got the top done. Now we're moving on to the bottom. So you will need to remove the mechanism on the bottom, but it's really easy. There's just these 4 Phillips, and you can slide this rail. Another one right there, another one right there, and then you can move the lever and pull this, which does have the springs on it, to get to that last one. You can pull off the spring too, and just leave it kind of hanging attached to the frame here, just so you don't have that tension on there. But we're going to remove the mechanism, and then we can get to cutting and removing all of the hog rings all the way around. Same story here on the bottom. We got the hog rings on the back, or technically the underside, undone, rolled around the edges, and then you can see there's additional hog rings in here. So here's an example. The one on the top there, that one's going to stay. The one below it going into the white fabric, that's the ones we need to cut, because that's actually holding this cover on. So we'll work our way around with the cutters and cut them out. Got the old cover off, new cover on, just kind of turned it inside out so that we can get down to this flap that's going to be hog ringed down into the ones that we just pulled off. I think I forgot to show that actually on the top part, basically where this kind of just gets hog ringed back in, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It kind of just goes along the piping here so that it kind of holds that down and then gives you a little bit of that bolster. So we're going to tuck this down in that crack and then get to hog ringing it down to the metal wire that runs through. Probably really hard to see, but that's what we're going to actually hog ring around, and get it all nice and secure. The bottom all done. Got the bracket back into place and the spring and everything. So it looks pretty good. I got one little small wrinkle over here because the foam's pretty worn down and it's not kind of filling it out as much as I would like it does on this side. I'm hoping the heat too will kind of help, you know, soften the material a little bit, but it's really not that bad, and that's by the console and the back of the seat, so it's not going to look bad at all. So we're ready to put the back and the base back together. Alright, seat's all back together. You know, there is this little spot that was where the foam was really worn out and eaten through on the factory seat, so you can kind of see that through, but overall I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and vacuum out underneath the seat where there was all that debris that we couldn't get to before. Then it's just a reversal of how we took the seat out. So there's the 4 studs on the bottom of the mount that go through the holes in the floor. put the 1/2-inch nuts back on them, put the rubber seals on, and then we'll be done. So I'll just go ahead and knock that out real quick and then bring you guys back to end the video. Here's a look at the final product. So you can see it matches pretty well. You can tell the other seats are a little sun faded, and obviously the driver's seat's not, but much better that we don't have those tears in there. So it looks really nice. And of course we got our seat belts installed now too, so slightly safer. Don't know how much a lap belt's really going to help, but you know, at least we're legal and we have seat belts, so that's good. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you know, those of you who came for the motorcycles on the channel enjoy the car content, and vice versa. I'm going to continue to kind of do both projects hand in hand. So obviously the next thing on, or maybe not obviously if you haven't watched the video, but the next thing on the Triumph is some finish motor mount welding, and then electronics, and you know, we got some more fabrication to do before we blow it all apart and start to paint everything and you know, finish basically all the little detail work on that. On the Mustang, we have this vent seal kit, which is going to help with a small leak that we have through the cowl vent, which I'm probably going to do a video just on that to be kind of like a little how-to video for the people out there that have classic Mustangs with that very common problem, to walk through how to fix it. And then we have this chrome rocker molding right over there. So we'll have to drill out the rivets on these stock clips, rivet on the new clips, and then put that molding on. After that, it's just a few little things, and then we're going to be yeah, pretty much as far as I wanted to go for the first round of projects on the Mustang. So really excited. So make sure to like and subscribe, and you know, follow along for more Mustang videos, more motorcycle videos, and who knows what else. Check out my Instagram at Classic Octane, classicoctane.com for shirts and other swag items. And yep, we'll see you guys soon.